Hey everybody, another week and yes, another video. We're on a roll. Still at home, but maybe in the UK we'll hear something over the next few days which will mean more time out on the roads. But until then, the safest place for us to be is at home. And that time at home gives us the opportunity to do some maintenance jobs on our bikes. That's if you have the correct tools to do them. In this video, I thought I'd run through some of the tools I consider essential for home bicycle maintenance. A work stand should be the centre of your home workshop. Of course, it's possible to do some of these maintenance jobs without one. I'm sure many of us have had to improvise fixing a mechanical breakdown at the side of the road with the help of a ball or even by hanging your bike from a road sign. But a work stand at home will make your maintenance jobs so much easier. A good work stand will hold your bike securely and at a comfortable height, allowing you to perform those maintenance jobs or wash your bike with full access to every area with both hands free. The two different types of stand available are axle bottom bracket mounted or tube clamping. Both have their advantages and disadvantages depending on your style of bike. Tube clamping will either hold your bike at the top tube or seat post, and this style is more common. However, I'd recommend not clamping the top tube if your bike frame is made from carbon fibre, as you could accidentally overclamp and damage it. You could use the seat post instead if you have space for the clamp. You could go all out and buy a top-of-the-range Parks tool or something a little more wallet-friendly. This one's mine. It's really not that special, but it does a good job. Out on the road, a multi-tool like this one is good enough, but why not treat yourself to a good set of Allen or TORX keys for your home workshop?
Treat yourself!
You'll need to know what sizes and heads you require to work on your bike. Typically, a 4, 5 and 6mm Allen key will fit most of your components. However, TORX fittings have started to become more common, so check what you have on your bike. A set like this goes from 2mm, which I've used to fit computer and light mounts, right up to 10mm. Larger head sizes may be needed to fix hubs, or like the 10mm I use here, to remove my cranks. Bolts are pretty much used everywhere on your bike, on every component. Handlebars, stem, saddle, seat post, derailleurs, pedals, even wheels. Make sure you have the correct size and type to work on your components. A torque wrench has become more important for us home mechanics. Modern bikes and their components are relatively delicate, and over-tightening their bolts can affect their warranty and cause serious damage. Always use the manufacturer's torque settings. Most components will have this marked next to the bolt, or it can be found in their documentation. That's the number with the NM next to it. Torque wrenches can come in different sizes and measuring to different torques. This one measures from 1 to 24 Newton meters and is the most common one to use. It allows me to fit heads in both Allen and TORX in various sizes and gets frequently used on my stem, handlebars and seat post, all of which could be damaged or cause damage if not correctly tightened. This one is larger and goes right up to 140 Newton meters. It's useful for cassette lock rings, bottom brackets and cranks. They are more expensive than a set of Allen keys, however, one like this can be bought for £20 to £30, and that's nothing compared to the cost of potentially having to replace a rather expensive component because you accidentally tightened it just that little too far. Although screw heads are becoming less common on bikes, with Allen bolts now taking over, a few components on your bike may still require them. Have at least a good quality flat and crosshead. You may need to use them to adjust your derailleur limit screws or brakes. I'm sure we've all got screwdrivers of various sizes in different places around the house, shed or garage, but they're not expensive, so why not keep a couple of dedicated ones in your bike toolbox so they're at hand and ready for those jobs. For those of us still using cables, buy a good set of cable cutters. This was one of my most important purchases, and that's why I did go for a Parks tool for this one. When replacing brake and gear cables, a job that's quite common for us to put off, but can make such a big difference to the running of the bike, a quality bike-specific cable cutter will make the world a difference. Nothing will get such a clean cut on both the cables and outers as a tool that's dedicated for the job. A cleaner cut means a smoother cable when running in ferrules and components. This one can also crimp your cable ends. Don't just make do with a sharp edge in your pliers. That's likely to fray your cables and squash your outer casing. No good. A chain tool is needed to split and rejoin your chain. You can take your chain off for a thorough clean or to be replaced. A handy tip will be to use a speed link when rejoining your chain in order to make removal easier in the future. I've got a couple here. Both have worked with all the different makes and manufacturers of chains I've ever used. Just make sure you follow the guidance of the tool and get one that fits the speed of your chain. This one works with 9 to 11 speed. You could also get a chain wear check tool like this. That way you know when your chain needs replacing. This can save you money in the long run, as a stretched and worn chain will wear other components more quickly, which will then need replacing. A chain is a lot cheaper to replace than a new cassette or chain rings. A job you may normally ask your bike shop to do, but one that's fairly easy if you have the tools to do it. You may wish to remove your cassette because it's old and needs replacing, it's particularly filthy and requires a deep clean off the wheel, or you want to exchange it for one with a different range of gears. You will need a chain whip used to hold the cassette in place.
Say whip, whip. Now say cool whip, cool whip.
A cassette lock ring tool and an adjustable spanner. The lock ring tool you'll get will depend on the manufacturer of your cassette. Shimano and SRAM use the same spline, however Campagnolo is different. Just check which one you need. Also, the Shimano lock ring tool can be used on removing centre lock disc rotors, so that's another reason to get one. You use the chain whip to hold the cassette in place, insert the lock ring tool and use the adjustable spanner to unscrew the cassette's lock ring anti-clockwise. You're essentially pushing down on both tools. You can then lift the cassette off. After replacing the cassette, which can only be placed on the spline, free her body one way, use the lock ring tool and the spanner to tighten the lock ring back up. There's lots of information available about tyre pressures and what's best for your weight, tyre size, required comfort, and still while reducing rolling resistance, and a discussion about that will be a video in itself. However, once you know what pressure you want, you'll need a pump with a gauge. A track pump like this has a gauge and quickly inflates your tyres to the desired pressure. Don't waste minutes and so much effort using a mini pump at home. Those are for getting you out of trouble when you have a flat out on the road. One like this can inflate to 100 psi in just a few seconds, has long enough hose to reach my bike's wheels while it's being worked on in a stand, and has both Presta and Schrader valve fittings. And that's it, some of the tools I consider essential for home bike maintenance. With these in your toolbox, you'll be able to tackle most of the common bike maintenance jobs. So thanks everyone for watching. It's a bit different from me today. Maybe next time I'll be out on the bike, fingers crossed. But until next time, stay safe and see you soon. Bye for now.